You handed over the keys to your life, and you didn't even realize it. Every time you waited for someone's approval before making a decision, every time you blamed your childhood, your boss, your circumstances, every time you said, "I'll be happy," when instead of "I am happy now," you gave your power away, piece by piece, day by day, until you woke up one morning wondering why your life feels like someone else is driving. The most dangerous prison is the one you don't know you're in. And right now, you're sitting in a cell you built yourself, with a door that was never locked. But here's the uncomfortable truth that changes everything. You gave it away, which means only you can take it back. In the next 14 minutes, I'm going to expose the 7 ways you've been hemorrhaging your personal power. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to reclaim it. But I warn you, what you're about to hear will make you uncomfortable, because the enemy isn't out there. It's in the mirror. The approval trap. Think about the last decision you made. Not a small one, a real decision. Did you make it because it was right for you? Or did you make it because you were afraid of what others would think? Here's a pattern that's destroying millions of lives. You post something on social media and check it every 5 minutes to see who liked it. You dress a certain way not because you love it, but because it's acceptable. You stay in relationships, jobs, and friendships that drain you because leaving would upset someone. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Research from Harvard found that people who base their self-worth on external validation experience 40% higher rates of anxiety and depression. 40%. Every time you need someone else to tell you you're good enough, you hand them a piece of your power. You become a puppet, and they hold the strings. The wealthy and successful figured this out early. They make decisions based on their values, not on audience applause. Your worth is not negotiable, but this addiction to approval runs deeper than you think. It connects to something even more insidious: the blame game. Your childhood was difficult. Your parents didn't understand you. The economy is rigged. Your boss is a tyrant. Your ex destroyed your ability to trust. Sound familiar? Every single one of those statements might be true, and every single one of them is keeping you powerless. Here's what nobody tells you about blame. It feels good. It's comfortable. It takes the weight off your shoulders and places it somewhere else. But it comes with a devastating cost. The moment you blame someone else for your situation, you admit that they control your life. You become a passenger in your own existence. Psychology calls this an external locus of control. People with external locus believe life happens to them. People with internal locus believe life happens through them. Studies show that people with internal locus earn more money, have better health, and report higher life satisfaction. Not because they had easier lives, but because they took ownership of their power. Ownership. Your past may have shaped you, but your future is not a hostage to your history. If this belief is one you recognize in yourself, hit like and subscribe to reclaim more of your personal power with me. Because what comes next might be the hardest truth of all. Emotional outsourcing. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Rage. Your partner doesn't text back fast enough. Anxiety. A stranger on the internet disagrees with you. Fury. Notice what's happening here. You've outsourced your emotional state to external circumstances. You've given random people and random events the power to decide how you feel. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Viktor Frankl wrote those words after surviving Nazi concentration camps. If he could find power in the most powerless situation imaginable, what's your excuse? Here's the brutal reality. No one can make you feel anything without your permission. When you say you made me angry or they ruined my day, you're confessing that strangers have more control over your inner world than you do. The equation is simple. External event plus your interpretation equals your emotion. You can't always control the event, but you always control the interpretation. Powerful people don't react. They respond. They choose their emotional state like choosing what to wear. And this skill connects directly to another power leak you might not see coming. The excuse factory. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'll start Monday. Congratulations. You just witnessed your excuse factory in full production. These aren't reasons, they're shields. They protect your ego from the terrifying possibility that you could try and still fail. Excuses are lies we love. Here's what excuses really cost you. A study at Dominican University found that people who write down their goals and share them with accountability partners are 42% more likely to achieve them. But here's the hidden finding. The number one predictor of failure wasn't lack of resources. It was the presence of excuses. Every excuse is a trade. You trade your future potential for present comfort. You trade what you could become for what you are. The wealthiest people on earth came from poverty. The greatest athletes were told they weren't good enough. The most successful entrepreneurs failed repeatedly before winning. The only difference between them and you is they stopped making excuses. And this brings us to a power drain that operates completely under your radar. Future hostage. I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll feel successful when I hit 6 figures. I'll finally relax when the kids move out. I'll live my life when I retire. You've been holding your happiness hostage to future conditions, and those conditions keep moving. The goalpost shifts every time you get close. This is called arrival fallacy, the mistaken belief that achieving a goal will make you permanently happier. Studies show that lottery winners return to their baseline happiness within months. People who achieve their dream goals report the same effect. The happiness bump is temporary, but you've been trading your present power for an imaginary future that never delivers what it promises. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. Power exists only in the present moment. That's the only place you can think, act, decide, and change. When you live in the future, you abandon the only moment where you actually have power. Your power is right here, right now, in this exact moment. Stop waiting, start living. But there's another way you're giving power away that's even more subtle. Permission seeking. Do you think I should take that job? Is it okay if I change my hair? Should I start that business? What do you think I should do with my life? Every time you ask someone else for permission to live your life, you declare that their opinion matters more than your own knowing. You diminish your inner authority. Stop asking, start deciding. Children ask permission. Adults make decisions. But many people carry childhood programming into adulthood. They still need a parental figure to approve their choices. Sometimes it's actual parents. Sometimes it's partners, friends, or even strangers on the internet. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When you ask for permission, you're not really seeking guidance. You're seeking insurance. If it fails, you can blame them. If it works, you still don't feel the full power of your own success because someone else approved it first. Decide. The most powerful word in your vocabulary is not yes or no. It's I decide. Make the call. Own the outcome. That's where power lies, not in permission, in decision. And speaking of decisions, there's one type that drains more power than all the others combined. Comparison poison. You scroll through social media, someone's living in Bali, someone just bought a house, someone's engaged to a supermodel, someone's business is exploding, and suddenly your life feels smaller. Your achievements feel worthless. Your progress feels pathetic. Comparison is the thief of joy, but it's not just stealing your joy. It's stealing your power. When you compare yourself to others, you judge your inside by their outside. You compare your behind the scenes to their highlight reel. You measure your chapter 3 against their chapter 20. Studies show that people who spend more than 2 hours daily on social media have twice the rates of depression and anxiety. Not because social media is evil, but because it's a comparison machine operating at industrial scale. Every comparison drains your battery. Every scroll gives someone else power over how you feel about yourself. The only comparison that serves you is you versus yesterday's you. Are you better than you were before that? Is the only question. This brings us to perhaps the most invisible power drain of all. Word weapons. I can't, I have to, I should, I'm trying. Listen to your own language. These aren't just words. They're spells you cast on yourself. They're programs you run in your subconscious. And most of them are disempowering. Words create worlds. I can't tells your brain to stop looking for solutions. I have to makes you a slave to obligations. I should fills you with guilt about who you're not. I'm trying gives you permission to fail. Powerful people speak differently. They say I choose. They say I will. They say I am. The language of ownership. The language of power. Change your words and you change your world. Neuroscience confirms this. The words you use literally shape neural pathways. They determine what you notice, what you believe, and what you become. Pay attention to your self-talk. Would you let anyone else speak to you the way you speak to yourself? Your internal dialogue is programming your reality. Reprogram it, because the words you use connect to the final and most crucial power drain. Victim identity. Some people don't just experience victimhood, they become it. It becomes their identity, their story, their brand. They introduce themselves through their wounds. They bond with others through shared oppression. They find community in collective grievance. Every man has two lives, and the second starts when he realizes he has just one. Here's what nobody wants to hear. Victimhood can become addictive. It provides attention, sympathy, belonging, and moral superiority without requiring any change. But it costs everything that matters. When you identify as a victim, you close the door on transformation. Because victims don't have power. That's the definition. If you're powerful, you're not a victim. If you're a victim, you're not powerful. You can acknowledge what happened to you without becoming it. You can honor your past without being imprisoned by it. Transform. Survivors become warriors. Victims remain prisoners. The stories you tell about yourself determine who you become. You are not what happened to you, you are what you choose to become. So how do you actually take your power back? Radical ownership. Taking your power back isn't complicated, but it's not easy either. It requires one fundamental shift: radical ownership. This means you stop seeking validation and start validating yourself. You stop blaming and start solving. You stop outsourcing your emotions and start choosing them. You stop making excuses and start making progress. 1. Own your choices and their consequences. 2. Own your emotions and your responses. 3. Own your story and rewrite it. 4. Own your words and speak power. 5. Own your future starting now. Radical ownership doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means everything is your responsibility. The difference matters. Fault looks backward. Responsibility looks forward. Fault assigns blame. Responsibility enables change. Your life, your rules. From this moment forward, you are the author of your story, not your parents, not your circumstances, not your past, not anyone else. You. Chains become crowns when you decide they do. The power was never outside you. It was always within, waiting for you to claim it. Let me ask you something. How does it feel to finally see the invisible chains you've been wearing, the approval you begged for, the blame you hid behind, the emotions you outsourced, the excuses you manufactured, the future you held hostage, the permission you sought, the comparisons that poisoned you, the words that weakened you, the victim story you clung to? Every single one was a choice, which means every single one can be unchosen. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Today can be the day you stop giving your power away. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not when circumstances improve. Today, right now, in this moment, because power isn't given, it's taken, it's claimed, it's owned. Take it back now. If you made it this far, comment power reclaimed to prove you're ready to own your life. Your mind is either programmed for power or programmed for weakness. Now you know how to reprogram it. If this video exposed something in you, subscribe. There's more power to reclaim.